Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back your lovely faces to a brand new video here on the channel. Corey Feldman is back in the news, and to be honest with you now, it seems to be that this article or this podcast that he's done, it could actually be a bit of a downfall for him. Mostly because he says things in this podcast which has been refuted, and basically other people have said that's not true. And we've even got a list of one of which he claims that he was in the running for, but he wasn't. So that kind of makes you think, right, okay, is this guy trying just to have his name out there? Because to be honest with you, Corey Feldman, he's an okay actor, he's not exactly great, and the roles he said he was up for, he wouldn't have done it, mate. Yeah, that's just it. So Corey Feldman claims that Johnny Depp got him kicked off 1990s film. I never saw the film because I'm still bitter. Corey Feldman has said that Johnny Depp pushed him out of a role in 1993, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, because he thought he was a junkie. The 53-year-old actor, known best for his work in the 80s, such as Gremlins, The Goonies and Stand By Me, said he was originally cast to play Arnie, Depp's on-screen younger brother. However, the role was given to DiCaprio, and DiCaprio went on to secure an Oscar nomination for the role. I was actually cast to play DiCaprio's role. I never saw the film because I'm still bitter, but yes, I was originally cast for that role. Okay, fair enough. Asked if he was pushed out, Feldman nodded and said, Johnny Depp. He was cast after I was, and apparently whispered into the producer's ear that he wasn't fond of me and thought, he said that I was a junkie and that he didn't work with junkies. And this is the first time I'm ever telling this story, so I'm sure I'm going to get hung by this one. So with that straight away, it makes you think, right, okay, early 90s, obviously, Depp has just done Edward Scissorhands, and he's kind of on his way up to becoming a major star. And it's interesting because this is what Feldman said about it. He'd been open about his struggles with substance addiction throughout the years, and said the concern was ill-founded at the time. I was sober. I had just gotten sober. I had just gotten out of rehab. So if you've just got out of the rehab and you had just gotten sober, technically someone saying that you were a junkie is not incorrect. It's not, is it? You know, because you got people this day and age as well. If they go to Alcoholics Anonymous and all these other meetings, you're still classed as an addict. But he says as well that he was trying to help NifflerMyAugury at the time as well, who Depp was running with at the time, as we all know. Again, he's trying to imply with that part by there because of how NifflerMyAugury died. But as you can imagine, there was a bit of a thorn in the side on that one. And had I not been pushed out and done that role, who knows what would have happened from that point on, forwards. But then there's a few more by here, but we're going to look at this one by here. This is what he actually said on Twitter regarding it. So this story has gone crazy viral. It's a true story, but not sure if it was edited or if I failed to mention the key part of the story. But to clarify, it was my representatives who told me that was the reason my offer was withdrawn. I didn't hear it directly from Johnny. So with that one there's a few things you can take away. First of all, it's a podcast. You're there saying these words. It's a podcast. You watch it and you can see you saying, oh yeah, Johnny Depp. That's exactly what you do. And again, you're saying now afterwards, oh, I failed to mention a key part. Sorry, that's on you. This is the reason why you will be getting hate. And if you never actually said, oh yeah, or my producers said, or my representatives, they said that it was Johnny Depp who said it. If you said that during the actual podcast, okay. But there's one thing as well with that. Representatives, managers, agents, they're all liars. They will tell you anything that you want to hear. And again, when he says that there at the bottom of it, that was the reason my offer was withdrawn. If you were already cast as the role, they wouldn't have taken their offer back. They would have fired you or replaced you. That's how it would have gone. My offer was withdrawn. No. But there's another part he goes on as well. I feel it is important to add one more comment to the story, which is to say, in no way was the telling of this incident meant as any sort of a dig at Leo or his performance. He was obviously incredible in the role, as he is a very talented actor. Yeah, everyone understands that. Everyone understands that it's not a dig at Leo. You're literally saying it's Johnny Depp's fault. That's the problem. And, I answered the question honestly, and as usual, it gets me hate. Well, no, you haven't answered it honestly. You left out the key part. My representatives told me this is what was said. Basically, the game of telephone. That's exactly what it's called. But if we just go back to this, he also suggested that he was up for the lead in Titanic, which he also lost out to DiCaprio. It's a double banger with Leo. That was okay because that one I wasn't as close. I was up for it, I read for it, I know that I was in the contention somewhere. Now with this part by here, I am going to straight up call Corey Feldman a liar. Mostly because James Cameron, the writer, director, producer of Titanic, has said there was only 10 people who he wanted to audition for the role. And would you like to see who they are? Every actor considered for the role of Jack Dawson. So, Matthew McConaughey. He was actually on a late night talk show. I can't remember the guy. He's the one who does the Oscars now and again. And he said, oh, there he goes, yeah, I thought I had the role, but I didn't. And that is exactly what it is. He talked about his Titanic audition. He revealed he was past the audition stages and moved on to screen tests with Kate Winslet. And while he thought it went well, McConaughey was never offered the part. Fortunately, Titanic wasn't his only chance at fame. He won Best Actor for his performance in Dallas Buyers Club over a decade later. But you also had Robin. Chris O'Donnell was too busy. Billy Crudup didn't want the fame from Titanic. Johnny Depp almost starred in it with Winona Ryder, who was in the running for Kate Winslet's role. Stephen Dorff, he actually didn't like it, which is understandable. But then you got Jared Leto. He refused to audition for Titanic. And with Jared Leto as well, it's interesting because if you look at how Jared Leto looked around 97 to 2000, him and DiCaprio kind of look very similar, both with the blonde hair and everything else. And Jared Leto refused. This is a weird one though. Tom Cruise. But obviously, if you're making a $200 million film, which at the time, Titanic was the biggest movie ever, but you would want someone with name recognition to be like, right, here's our star, we need to get money back, put Tom Cruise. Biggest movie star in the world, would never have worked with him, no. Then you got Christian Bale, who he was skipped because they didn't want 2 British leads. Which if you think about it, if Christian Bale did get cast, Kate Winslet wouldn't have been in the role either. Because as you see there, they didn't want 2 British leads. But then Jeremy Sisto even did a screen test with Winslet. So these are the actual 10 people that James Cameron actually said, because he did an interview with GQ in the 2010s. And this one by here, just with Deadline, he talks about DiCaprio almost didn't get the role because he didn't want to audition. It's absolutely insane. Cameron is revealing that DiCaprio almost didn't get to be Jack because he didn't want to read for the part, which is actually kind of interesting to see. And he said, he looked around and when Leo was coming in, all the females in the office were there watching. Which, the meeting was funny. I'm sitting in my conference room waiting to meet an actor, right? And I look around and all the women in the entire office are in the meeting. Like there's a female executive producer, okay, fine. But our accountant, why was she there? They all wanted to meet Leo. It was hysterical. I looked around and I went, I think I already know the answer to the question here. But then he said he charmed everyone and he said, right, we're going to screen test. But he said, DiCaprio, oh, I don't read. Cameron then says he shook the actor's hand and thanked him for coming. When DiCaprio saw the opportunity slipping away, he said, wait, you mean if I don't read, I don't get the part just like that? Cameron then explained to DiCaprio that the film was going like a giant movie that is going to take 2 years of my life and you'll be gone doing 5 other things while I'm doing post-production and all the model work and everything. So I'm not going to F it up. I'm making the wrong decision in casting, so you're going to read or you're not going to get the part. So straight away, when you think of it like that, and James Cameron as well stating, I'm not going to make this mistake, I'm not being funny, Corey Feldman, he never had a chance. He literally didn't. And he wasn't even considered. Because if you look at all of these actors, the ones who either said, they didn't do it, or they didn't want to do it, at the time, they were all young and good-looking guys. Corey Feldman wasn't. That's just the thing about it all. But it's interesting to see, though, that Corey Feldman is coming out with all of this and saying stuff like all of this. But when you says that he left a key part of the entire thing out. My representatives told me this is what happened. Representatives lie. They will tell anything to their actors or their clients just to make them happy. Hell, if you read a lot of interviews like we have on this channel with all these actors, directors and everything else, they all say the same thing. They all said it. But I just think Corey Feldman just wanted to get his name out there and just get a bit of like, oh, my name's back in the limelight. Yeah, didn't happen. But guys, thanks enough for watching. Let us know down below what you think of this. You know, even the comments on the articles as well, they're saying that he's a fantasist. Because if you actually go back for one last bit, he says that he was actually up for the role as Samwise Gamgee in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And when you go down, you got a lot of people like, yeah, sounds like a bit of a fantasist. So he had been a junkie and the claims are simply out of date and he didn't have an opportunity to refute the claim. There's so many things going on with this. It just makes you think, yeah, we don't actually believe that. But, you know, which again, this day and age, you just can't believe everything anyone says. You have to do your due diligence and look into things. Let us know down below, folks, what you think about this. If you are new to the channel, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you soon.